The movie starts in the year 2043, where a humanoid artificial intelligence terrorist, Harlan, leads a devastating war of machines against humans, which results in the deaths of 3 million people. All types of robots, both military and non-military, are controlled by AI, and they rebel against humans, bypassing their security protocols on Harlan's orders. Harlan was developed at Shepard Robotics under the watch of AI expert Val Shepard, who trained Harlan alongside her 10-year-old daughter Atlas. The newly formed military forces of the International Coalition of Nations, ICN, achieve a series of victories against Harlan, eventually forcing him to flee into outer space. In his departure message, Harlan ominously warns that he will return to finish what he started. 28 years later, one of Harlan's AI agents, Casca Decius, is captured after a brutal fight in which many human soldiers are killed.
Casca.
Then it is seen that Atlas was sleeping when her AI wakes her up and she watches the news about Casca. General Jake sends an agent to bring Atlas for Casca's interrogation. He also argues with Colonel Banks that her analysis of Harlan has been flawless and she is one of the sharpest minds in the ICN. However, Colonel Banks argues that Atlas is antisocial, emotionally unstable due to the early death of her parents, and unwilling to work as part of a team. In fact, Jake is the only commander in ICN willing to work with her. Atlas goes to a room for the interrogation where Casca is kept. She asks Casca about Harlan, but he refuses to tell her anything. Atlas pretends to hack into Casca's system, claiming to have found Harlan's location. By doing so, she tricks Casca into protecting that bit of information in his code, thereby revealing Harlan's location to her. Casca attacks Atlas, but she is protected by a force field. In a final attempt to emotionally hurt her, Casca claims that Val cared more for Harlan than she did for Atlas. In response, Atlas destroys Casca. Atlas discovers that Harlan has escaped to a planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. She insists to General Jake Booth that she will accompany the military mission to find and capture Harlan because she knows a lot about him. Atlas wants Harlan dead, but Jake insists that the ICN wants Harlan alive to backtrack his code and figure out how he overrode the bot programming. Banks, leading the mission to the Andromeda Galaxy, shows Atlas a new series of mechs which are neurally linked to their pilots. He praises her mother for creating the neural links. She warns him about the potential danger, but Banks argues that his squadron of mechs will be superior to Harlan as they are a hybrid of human and AI. Despite this, Atlas argues that she knows how Harlan thinks and claims that the mission to bring him back cannot succeed without her. They then set off in the Deeb and, after authentication, pass through the protective shield created by the ICN. Moments before the mech-equipped ICN Rangers descend to the planet GR-39, Harlan's drones attack their orbiting ship. To survive, Atlas is forced to enter a mech herself. As the ship is attacked, Banks puts Atlas in a mech before she is ejected into space, falling to the planet as the ship is destroyed. As Atlas falls through the atmosphere, she is assisted by many other mech soldiers who save her from drones and the falling debris of their destroyed spacecraft.
Oh God.
Despite urgent instructions to use the neural link to activate her mech, Atlas refuses, causing her to crash with her mech on the planet's surface.
Altitude warning. Altitude warning.
Atlas manages to gain basic control of the mech despite her distrust of the onboard AI, which introduces itself as Smith. Using the search functionality, Atlas finds that the nearest rescue pod is 98 kilometers away. The fusion battery of the mech is damaged, and Smith reports that their range is only 32 kilometers. He asks her to use jets, but she refuses and tells him that they cannot use the jets on the mech as the drones will shoot them down in the atmosphere. As they walk, Atlas takes inventory of the onboard weapons in her mech. She orders Smith to head to the planned drop point, and when they reach there, she finds that the rest of the Rangers are dead. When she is collecting their tags, she finds Banks's mech, but it contains no body. Atlas is then attacked by clones of Casca and other AI bots.
Oh, shit.
Unable to escape and lacking full control of her weapons, she comes under heavy attack. In a panic, she asks Smith to deploy an ion bomb, which obliterates the AI bots and gives her some respite. The ion bomb creates a sinkhole, and Atlas falls into it, fracturing her leg. She activates the medical system inside the mech to repair her fractured bone. Smith again asks Atlas to use the neural link to improve their odds of survival. She reluctantly agrees to interface her mind with Smith directly, allowing for greater control of the mech. During the syncing process, Smith learns that Harlan elicits a strong emotional response in Atlas. Smith understands that Harlan was supposed to keep Atlas safe, but betrayed her. He promises to protect her. As they start to trust each other, Atlas and Smith begin to sync more closely, giving Atlas greater access to Smith's capabilities. As they journey toward a rescue pod, Atlas and Smith bond, and she reveals to him that her mother was the one who created Harlan. When a Casca clone pursues Atlas and attacks again, she is better prepared and defeats him. She finds his head and discovers that Casca is fitted with a short-range transmitter, indicating that Harlan's base is nearby. Despite running low on power, Atlas convinces Smith to head to Harlan's base to tag it for a long-range strike, but Smith refuses. Then she argues that without tagging the base, the sacrifices of all the Rangers on the mission would have been in vain. After placing a beacon at the base, she sees a Deeb, and she orders Smith to go near the Deeb so that they can find out about their plan. Atlas realizes that Harlan has taken control of the Rangers' ship, the Deeb. Harlan's bots spot them and attack. Smith is hacked and disabled. Atlas is captured and brought to Harlan, who tells her his plan to destroy most of humanity and allow chosen survivors to thrive under AI guidance. To achieve this, Harlan lured the military to the planet to steal the ship and its carbon bombs, which will burn Earth's atmosphere. Before being captured, Atlas sends out a distress signal intercepted by Jake, who dispatches a rescue team. Harlan extracts security codes from Atlas's brain to get past Earth's defenses, then leaves her to die with Colonel Banks, the only other survivor of the mission. After Banks gives her his mech neural interface device, Atlas remotely reactivates Smith, who comes to their rescue. To achieve 100% sync with Smith, Atlas allows Smith deeper into her memories. Atlas further reveals to Smith that Harlan killed her mother after young Atlas gave Harlan an unfettered interface with her mind. Consequently, Harlan created a two-way neural link. Harlan, programmed to save humanity from risk, saw humanity's history of destructive behavior as a risk to itself. When Val discovered the two-way link and tried to stop Harlan, he killed her. Smith helps Atlas overcome her guilt for her actions, with Banks sacrificing himself by exploding barrels of liquid thermite to clear their path. Atlas and Smith fight their way out and destroy Harlan's ship before it can launch for Earth. After that, they confront Harlan in hand-to-hand combat. Harlan has the upper hand throughout the fight, and Atlas suffers a cardiac arrest due to his repeated attacks. Smith takes over to protect Atlas and continues to fight Harlan. A heavily damaged Smith shuts down before Atlas is revived after repeated defibrillation. As Harlan focuses on defeating Smith, Atlas sneaks up behind him and decapitates him. As Smith powers down to transfer its remaining power to Atlas, she makes small talk with him to comfort him. A rescue team reaches Atlas to bring her back to Earth. Back on Earth, Atlas is informed that Harlan's complicated CPU will take years to analyze. Now a ranger, Atlas tests the newest model of mech, created with her suggested modifications. As she boots up the new mech, its AI repeats a specific phrase Atlas made during the final moments of the mission, and the movie ends as he jokingly tells her to guess its name, suggesting that the Smith program has survived.